Previously, Sato was reborn in a world where everything is a drop item. His stats were all F rank, but the drop items he got from monsters were all S rank. But recently there was a new dungeon discovered near the border between two towns, so both towns came up with a competition in which whoever gathers rare items would win. And surely Sato secured the victory, and ownership of the dungeon would get to Sekiro town. However, he noticed a girl who was being used as a trash furnace and had overworked herself to complete her job, so Sato assisted her and shared her work burden. And after finishing all of their work, Emily made a huge treat for them because they will be returning to Sekiro after the ownership of the dungeon is announced. But the next morning Sato saw Celeste was using her high-level fire spell and got exhausted, so Sato used his healing bullet to patch her up. But Sato got too close that Celeste got flustered and turned her chicks into small balloons to focus, so after she calmed down, Sato asked about her high-level spell she used for such a small amount of trash, so Celeste tells him that she could only use level 3 fire spells and could not use levels 1 or 2. So Sato wanted to assist her, but the trash just kept piling up, because a dungeon master has appeared in the dungeon and as a result, no adventurers are stepping in the dungeon. It's basically a boss that appears every few months, and because the boss is so darn powerful even other monster tends to hide away in a corner, so every adventurer are free right now. Celeste was too tired, so Sato tells her to take some rest because she had overexerted herself and told her he could handle the rest, so Emily takes her away and Sato gets to work. But the next day, trash pile got even bigger, so Sato chose to check out if a team has been gathered to beat the boss. He gets to the Duke and saw Neptune has appeared to beat the boss. But sadly he can't do anything as of this moment, because an agreement was signed with the Hetero Town to beat the boss together if it appears. But seeing that Sekiro has won the competition and could get the ownership of the dungeon, they are delaying their team intentionally. Because if a boss stayed in the dungeon for too long the drop items from monster could change. And if that happens all the items Sekiro had would be of no value and the competition would start from scratch again. So Sato wanted to go in himself, but he can't because they need a group of 3 with an A rank stats, so Sato goes around to find someone who could join him but had no luck so far. Then returning back to his camp, Emily and Celeste were ready to take on the dungeon master, but they still need someone with an A rank stats to enter. So Celeste showed her stats in intelligence and Will was at A rank, but her drop item stats were all F or lower, but it was enough for them to enter in the dungeon. Then their boss comes out. It was a bicorn, the opposite of unicorn, so Emily attacks first, but a barrier repelled her attack, so Celeste used her fire and Sato used his fusion bullet to break her barrier. But after one attack it raised his barrier again, so they tried out this strategy a few times, but the boss was sturdy. Then Bicon used a spell that dropped 2 ranks of everyone, which affected Emily and Celeste, but Celeste was out of MP, so she apologized for her shortcoming. But Sato told her she had helped them more than he could hope for, which gives her a warm feeling of joy because no one had ever appreciated her work, not even once. So she gets back up and used another fire spell which gave Sato the chance to defeat the Bicon, but Celeste got passed out, and when she got conscious again, Sato gave her the drop item he got from the Bicon. It allows its user to use lower level spell infinite time. Then they gave this news to the Duke, and now the dungeon would surely fall under Sekiro town. Then the next day, the work here was done and Sato would return home. So he wanted to ask Celeste to join his party, but at the same time she also requested for the same thing, so that made things easy for them. They then returned to Sekiro town, but everyone around kept gawking at them because Sato got a new gorgeous girl. Their Urza also saw them and runs away in jealousy. After that, Celeste and Emily brought back the news of Harvest Festival that's around the corner where people would turn drop items into strays to kill them again in an arena. But Sato had already done the same to turn his items into strays to kill them again to get some rare bullets. He got a binding bullets this time, and when they returned to the town, a rare item that turned into stray was attacking the town, so our group goes into the fight with that stray, but their Emily barely blocked its attack. So Sato gets in and threw it in midair to use his binding bullets and finish it up with a fused fire bullets, but now Emily got her hammer broken, so Emily tried to fix it and made it even worse. So a weapon dealer found his way to offer exclusive weapon for Emily, because right now Sato and his party is the hot talk of the town. Then Sato gets back at Nihonium and saw the old man again. The princess and her team were once again collecting the drop air from the undead, but recently their airbox weren't selling out, so Sato gave them the idea to sell rings from now on. But there a big herd of undead got in, so Sato takes them out instantly and saves the princess. Then Emily was checking out her new hammer material and there Eve comes in to ask for Sato. So Emily told her Sato was off to Tellula dungeon and would stop by guild to exchange his items, so Eve runs off in a rush to find Sato. She was bored eating all the low-rank carrots and got desperate to eat the carrots that Sato bring in, but Sato was already at guild to exchange his items and there Urza comes to ask for a favor. She wanted Sato to bring back some rare drop items for the harvest festival, so Sato agreed to help out, but a news about money being turned into a drop item was going around. So Sato gives it a try and puts his money and saw money did turned into stray, and killing it gave him a rare potion that raises drop item stats. There he finally found Sato and he gave her the carrots she wanted. She loves carrot but only of high quality, but once, when she was kid she hated veggies and only loved to eat meat. And when she was scolded by her party to at least have some veggies too, she ran off in anger. She started to explore the dungeon alone and got a kid as a drop item. That kid didn't know what was going on, so Eve showed him the ropes of being in a dungeon. She beats that monster and got a carrot as a dropped item, but Eve wasn't too fond of it. But the kid stuffed the carrot into her mouth and she realized how yummy it was. She instantly fell in love with it, but then the kid vanishes away, and from then on, she lived only to eat carrots. But she can't get high-rank carrots herself, because her drop item stats were all terrible, so Sato gave her that potion that increased her ranks all up to A rank. And now she could also get high-level carrots herself, so in that happiness he begged Sato to take her into his party and Sato couldn't help but agreed. Then he introduced Eve to Emily and Celeste. Emily was happy but Celeste, not too much seeing her that close to Sato. But our another 2 episode comes to an end for today, but stay tuned to watch another newly aired anime, so take care.